Yo, what's good everyone? It's your boy Peeps back from Peepsame, and in today's video, I'm going to show you the best controller settings that you can use in Fortnite using your Cronus Zen. So in the first half of this video, I'm going to talk about the actual in-game settings that you want to use when you're playing Fortnite. And then in the second half of the video, I'm going to show you the Zen script that I'm using along with the settings that I am using on my Cronus Zen. So without wasting much more of your time, let me just go straight into the settings that we are using in Fortnite. So in the first tab that I will talk about in your Fortnite settings is actually the game settings. The only thing you really need to change here is the editing settings that you are using, specifically if you are using instant reset. If you're using instant reset, you will actually have to turn this on to reset or on both. But if you do not use instant reset with our scripts, then you can just set this to none. If you're not sure if your script has instant reset, just leave this on none and you will be good to go. That is pretty much the only setting you have to change in the game tab. Next up is obviously going to be your controller settings. Now this is the most important parts that you will have to change in your Fortnite settings to make sure that your Zen is being fully used. So I will go one by one through all of the settings here and I will tell you whether or not you should be using these as well, and if you should be using them, what settings you should be using with them. So the first setting I will talk is actually vibration. Many people think that you need to use vibration to make sure that the anti-recoil works with your Cronus Zen, but that is not actually true. You can just turn this off. The Zen doesn't use vibration anymore to tell how much anti-recoil it should apply, so you can just turn this off. The next settings that we will be looking at are actually our sensitivity settings. Now these are really important. First of all, you want to make sure that you're using the advanced options. Now if you do not have advanced settings on, it will look something like this and there's not much else that you can change, but you actually want to go ahead over here to use advanced options and then turn it on. Now once you've turned it on, it will look something like this. Now your build mode sensitivity and your edit mode sensitivity, you can adjust them to whatever you want them to be. This is all personal preference, as well as your look horizontal speed and your look vertical speed. If you ask me which speed is actually the best, I always use 43 on both of these because this is just the best sensitivity for me, and a lot of different pros use it and a lot of different people that are using our Cronus Zen scripts are actually using this as well. For all the boosts and the ramp time, you just want to set these all the way down. If you do use these, this will just add delay on your script and they're just not really useful when using a Cronus Zen. For my ADS horizontal and vertical speed, I use 12. Again, many pros use this, people that use our Zen scripts use this, so I'm going to use it as well. I recommend you to use it as well, but this is again just personal preference. You don't have to use 12. Next, this is probably the most important setting that you need to change when using your Zen. Make sure that your look dampening time is set all the way to 0 and your look input curve, this is personal preference, but in my experience, the Zen usually works better using linear, but you can also use exponential. We made sure that our newest scripts actually work with both of these options. Some Zen scripts only work with one, and it usually tells you in the script itself which one you should be using. But in my case, using Peepsame scripts, you can use either linear or exponential, but I recommend you to use linear. And of course, for your aim assist settings, just make sure you set these all the way to 100%. Next up is your dead zone. This all comes down to what controller you're using, how new it is, and if your sticks on your controller usually drift or not. Now, the controller that I'm using is an Xbox Series 2 Elite controller, and that lets me set the dead zone all the way to the lower end. This is all just, again, personal preference. Just go through all the dead zones and try them out. For these last settings, this is, again, personal preference. You don't have to have them on. If you want to use them, go ahead and use them, but in my experience, there's not really any need to be using them. Now, the last settings, of course, my controller keybinds. I'm going to go through all of them and show you what they are just in case you want to copy them, but this is all personal preference. Here you see all of my keybinds in case you want to copy them. Now I'm going to go through all the settings that I'm using in Zen Studios to make sure my Zen is working perfectly. Now, first of all, when you first get your Zen, you will see all of these scripts in the library, and I'm just going to tell you right now, do not use these. These scripts are really bad, they're community made, and they're not optimized to be working on the game you are using. You want to use a optimized script. Now, sometimes you are able to find free scripts, but the best scripts that you can get are paid, and I absolutely recommend the one I'm going to show you now, the Peepsame custom script, because it is truly right now the best Zen script that you can be using with your Cronus Zen. So once you get your script, you can just drag it into the compiler. Now here you can see all of the settings that you can change on your Zen script. So in our case, using the Peepsame custom, I'm just going to make sure that all of my keybinds are correct. I'm going to set my instant reset toggle. If I'm using edit to hold time, I will change it here, but in my case, I am not. Then I can change my dead zone to what it is in game. For example, I was using 7. And here for my input curve, I'm using linear, so I just need to change this to linear. And lastly, here I will need to set the platform that I'm using. In my case, I'm using PC. And there we go. That's all you need to do with the PeepSame script to make sure your script is working perfectly. Now, there are many different scripts that will definitely look different to this, but just go through the compilers, see everything that you need to change and change them. And then you can be sure that your Zen is working correctly with your in-game settings. Next up, I'm going to go to the device tab. Now over here, now this all depends on the platform you are playing. I will quickly put a picture up on screen of the settings that you need to copy if you're using a PlayStation 5. And here are the settings that you need to be using if you're using an Xbox or a PC. And yeah, this is pretty much all you have to do. These are all the settings that you should be using with Fortnite on your Cronus Zen. If you have any questions, ask them down in the comments below. See you guys in the next video.